Okay, our players showed a lot of toughness and determination in our overtime victory against the Air Force. It wasn't the prettiest of wins, but bottom line is, in the end, we found a way to win, and that was nothing different than our last several games with the Air Force. Gone the same way. Last series, last possession, and like we talked about all week, when you play the Air Force, you're going to get the full 60 minutes. There's no quit in those guys. They're tough. They're disciplined. They're determined. Everything that they were and are, we needed to match on Saturday, and I think we did in that respect. Offensively, a couple bright spots. David Reed had a big day, about 150 yards from receptions. Eddie White, another nice day, 120 some odd yards rushing. Defensively, really was the key to the game. Our defense, very proud of how they played. Really, they only allowed one touchdown, and that was after a turnover on a punt return. It was an 11-yard drive. Other than that, they didn't allow Air Force in the end zone, and so very good defensive effort. We had lost Kanapa Iliapo on Thursday to an eye situation, and so we had to have some other guys step up, and they did a great job. David Kruger, Silver Salinga, Vili now, and so got some very, very solid performances from some defensive tackles on Saturday. Looking ahead to Wyoming, much improved Wyoming football team. They're 4-3. Dave Christensen's a longtime associate of mine. He's doing a nice job up there. We've got to be ready to play. That's the next step in our, just trying to stay in the hunt for the Mountain West Conference Championship. And we got them at our place. It's our annual blackout game, second annual, and so should be a good crowd. And looking forward to the game. But we've got, we certainly have our deficiencies, and we understand that, and we're working to get better each week, and we just got to keep taking them one game at a time and trying to become a better team each and every week.
Offensively, are you getting enough big plays out of your big play players?
I think so. David went 90 yards on that slant for a touchdown. That was huge. Eddie White scooped up that fumble and went 30, 40 yards. So I think we are getting production from the guys that we term as the big play guys, and I think they've done a solid job of that. David's 10th in the nation in receiving yards, and Eddie is second in the conference in rushing. So I think those guys are doing a nice job.
All right, Kyle. The game against Air Force was your first real look on the offensive side of the ball against a true 3-4 odd man front. What did you learn? What did Air Force do effectively, and how can that help you going against Wyoming that runs a similar style?
Well, first of all, you're exactly right. There's a lot of carryover from Air Force to Wyoming. They both employ the odd front. Similar schemes. Air Force does a great job of disguising. That was really something that was problematic for us on Saturday, as they do such a nice job disguising, and they've done that all year long, and really people have had trouble moving the ball on them the entire year. They were 10th in the nation in total defense and doing a lot of good things defensively, and so we've just got to hopefully the similarity in schemes, there'll be carryover, and we'll be able to make some progress this week facing the same front. And just like I said, keep working. The big issue is ball security. I mean, that's more, that supersedes anything else. Is putting the ball on the ground too many times.
Can you expand on the ball security issue, and especially in Terrence's case?
Well, we just got to be better at it. We got to lock it up. We got to coach it better. We got to do it better. There's really not a lot to talk about other than just being better with ball security. I mean, we're swinging the ball around a little bit, and like I said, we got to coach it better and we got to execute it better.
Is there a point where guys start losing jobs because of that, like Luke, the way that he dropped it, or Terrence? Is there?
Well, he always, there's a point of, making changes for a lot of different reasons. Ball security is certainly one of them. Overall performance, I mean, that doesn't ever change, and hopefully we don't get to that point. But it's some, we've got to improve it, or something's going to have to happen. Yeah.
I want to know your coaching philosophy at this point of the season. The work ethic that you have with the guys, where are you at with them? I mean, you push them a couple days in pads, one day in pads. Do you start to pull back at this point?
Well, as the season wears on, first of all, we practice fairly physically. We get after it pretty good during the week. We're still in pads on Tuesday and Wednesday at this point. And that really will probably be the case for the rest of the season. The length of the practice really is where we modify. We shorten things up as the season goes on. But I firmly believe you got to still get after it and get fast looks in practice and physical looks in practice in order to prepare properly for the game. Interior defense has improved, and it has. And Air Force racked up some rushing yards, but it took them 75 tries to get it. And we're always concerned with yards per carry, and they were around 3.3 or 3.4 yards per carry. And typically, if you talk to an Air Force guy, that's not going to cut it for them. And they need well into the 4 yards per carry, 4.5, 5 yards a carry to be effective. And so even though we gave up 250 some odd yards, if it's going to take you 75 tries, that's usually is indicative of a pretty good run defense. And really the emergence of David Kruger, Silver Salinga, Cole Misi and Derek Shelby, we know they're proven commodities. We know what they're all about. But those guys, those up-and-coming defensive tackles and defensive ends, Knife Otu, he's not an up-and-comer, but those guys have really done a nice job this season for the most part. We've had a few games where we have not played as good a run defense as we needed to, but really see a lot of development in that defensive front for the first, through the first 7 weeks.